Hey, what's up guys? In this video, we're gonna talk about how to take control of your shop by creating a culture using core values and really holding your people accountable to that.
You play to win the game. Hello?
I really want you guys to take control of your shop. I've owned shops for almost 11 years at this point. And one of the things that I've learned that just trumps probably all is culture. And I think most shop owners, when they start their shop, right, they go down this path of, trying to formulate a culture, and then they get busy, they find people, they get customers, and then they find staff that just does the job, right? Because I get it, I'm in this industry, I'm in this grind every single day, right? You just need someone to show up every single day, regardless of their attitude, regardless of how they behave or how they treat other people. You need cars fixed. And we all set out to have this great culture, and then right, the life gets in the way, and the realities of owning a shop get in the way, and we lose culture, and we lose that desire to have that right cultural feel within the building. And all owners need to decide what that cultural feel is, and that's not what I'm intending to do here. I'm intending to encourage you to get back to that trajectory, that cultural feel, continue to work on that. If it's not where you want it to be, and even if it's where you want it to be, guess what, guys? You got to keep working at it. And I think one of the keys is there's 3 points we're really going to go over here, and when we talk about shaping culture. The first point is you as the owner set the tone. You as the owner set the tone for what the culture should be, how your shop should feel, how you treat people internally and externally. And internally, I mean, how do your coworkers, right, treat you, and how do coworkers treat other coworkers? That's the internal stuff. And there's a culture, right? That's a culture, and culture is essentially like a set of norms, right? How do we continuously how do things happen day after day? So you can have an internal culture, you can have an external culture, and when I say external, I mean people outside of your building. Certainly customers, but I even mean parts vendors. I mean anybody who walks in your building. When you need your walls painted and the painter walks in, how do your people treat that person that is external, right, outside of your walls? And you need to set the tone. It is up to you to do that. So how do you go about doing that? First and foremost, and this has worked for me, I bought a shop about 3 years ago. It was a huge shop, had 11 employees. I am down to 2 remaining employees at this point from the 11 that I inherited. And the reason why, we set out, when I first walked in the door, we set out to create a list of, and really not a list, I mean, this is a living, breathing thing, of core values. So I said, what is going on in this building right now, day in, day out? The 11 people that I inherited, what do you guys do really, really well every single day, right? What is the culture already? I really, and we worked at this. I mean, this took several weeks for us to come up with our core values, and we tried to include the staff and say, hey, we see these things. What do you guys see, right? So they had some input, and we just really worked on developing these core values. Once we had the 5 core values, and we said, we picked 5. I would encourage you guys 4 to 6. The more you have, the more difficult it becomes to actually hold people accountable to them, is what I've learned. And the way we do it, we only have 5, and that really works for us. I wouldn't have 15. That I can tell you. I certainly wouldn't have 15. You probably need to have more than 2 or 3. Okay. But we worked at developing these. We picked the 5, and for us, it's really funny. We picked the 5, and come to find out, a year and a half later, I'm reading something, and our 5 core values, and this is a true story, James, our 5 core values, almost word for word, match Starbucks' 5 core values. I couldn't believe that. I'm reading the thing that said, oh, here's Starbucks core values, and I'm like, these are our core values. Wow, that's strange how that just worked. Didn't mean for it to happen. But we took those 5 core values, and we really took the time to say, here's the things we want to see, and here's some specific behaviors that we want to see associated with each core value, right? Then, right, I think step 3 in this is, then you're going to assess your people on these behaviors regularly. And yes, it's time consuming, and yes, it's difficult, but I promise you, if you sit down with every employee in your building every 90 days, every 3 months, or once a quarter, and go over a review around your, whatever it is, your 4 to 6 core values, and make it all behavioral, not job related, not job description related, exclusively how did you behave against our core values? And have this discussion with them and have it honestly and have it openly, right? You will take control of your shop, I promise. I talk to shop owners all the time, and it seems as though that thing that they started out to do, they were going to build this culture and everyone was going to be happy and everyone was going to be great. They're 3, 4, 5 years in, and guess what? It sucks. They hate it. It sucks the life out of them because of that thing we talked about at the beginning of this video. Life happens. Running a shop happens, right? You need to hire people. Stuff needs to get done. So you hire people out of need, and now you get people who don't fit your culture. You can adjust this. I promise. If you sit down with them every 90 days and say, hey, here's what we're seeing, and here's the behaviors that we need to modify. And you can take control of your shop. Step 4. And I don't know if this is really a step 4. This is probably more expectations. This doesn't happen overnight. I'm going to give you a story and an example. I bought this shop. I inherited a guy, really, really hardworking guy, very, very hardworking guy. And by all accounts, he was rough. He was difficult. He was unruly, the bull in the china shop, right? The whatever term you want to put to him. And we set these core values out, and we had multiple meetings over time to discuss behavior. And I can promise you this guy changed his behavior dramatically. And so much so that people were like, I like that guy. And we really worked on this, and he really worked on this. And truth be told, he appreciated you for it. And it made everyone else in the shop feel better, right? And we want, I know as shop owners, one of the things we want every single day is to come in and have fun, enjoy your people, and have the people that you work with enjoy the other people that they work with. And I can promise you, if you do this, right? You set out these core values, you create them, you hold people accountable, and then step 4, know that this takes an extended period of time. The behavior is not going to change in 3 months. It's not probably going to change in 6 months. You can watch people change their whole demeanor and their whole attitude towards working in a year. And if they're just at one end of the spectrum and they're just brutally difficult, but you really care about this person and they really care about your business, they're worth it. And they'll get over here. They will get over here, I promise. Almost because you just care about them that much, right? To sit down and say, here's your behavior. This is how it's affecting you. This is how it's affecting everybody else in the shop. And we're not going to have it anymore. But I love you. I value you. I value how much you care about this business. And this business is the people, right? The business is the people that work here. I value how much you care about that. But this behavior that we're seeing over here, not going to work anymore. And you have these core values to reference that against. It takes time, though. It takes time. But if you want to take control of your shop, which all shop owners do, and that's the dream, I can promise you, right? If you do these 3 things, right? Set the tone, create core values, and then actually hold people accountable to them, you will take control of your shop. And your shop will look like something that you thought it should have looked like when you first started it. And we just lose sight of that. I know, I get it. I've been in the grind, man. I spent 5 years having no culture. My culture was run around like a chicken with my head cut off because there was a fire every 10 minutes, right? And I get it. But you got to work at it. You got to work at it, and if you work at it, the rewards will be enormous. So what I'm offering is I'd love to help you guys do that. I'm starting this consulting thing, not knowing everything about consulting. What I do know is I have been able to create a culture within my shop that it's fun. We have 12, 13 employees. And I hate saying the word employees. Don't ever call them employees. I call them coworkers. Right? I don't employ them. I work with them. I got 12 or 13 people that I work with every single day that it's enjoyable. These people show up. They follow our culture. They buy into our culture. And it's just enjoyable. And I want to help people do that. I want to help other shop owners create that. I want to help you be able to show up, whether you have 2 employees or 10 employees, show up and really enjoy working with these people. Really enjoy the product that your business is putting out. And let me explain something very clearly. The product that you're putting out is not fixing cars. That's a given. All sorts of people can fix cars. The product you should be putting out is we're different. We do something different. The whole feel of my shop and my business and the people that work here is different. And if you can get the internal culture correct, and you can get that to something that is just fun and people want to be around, that radiates externally. All of the people that walk into your business and walk into your building, they can just sense it. I've just watched this happen. I've watched this mature over the last 3 years in the shop I bought. And my other shop, the culture was great. I started that, right? I took this over and I just changed it. And I think for a lot of you guys, right, that's where you're at. You're like, I don't like my culture, so I'm always going to compare it to this shop that I'm sitting in right now. But, it starts with you. It will radiate outside of these walls to everybody that walks in the door, and your customers will feel it. Customers walk into our shop, and they just are like, something's different. Right? You guys do it differently. You really care about me as a person. You have fun with me when I walk in the door. We had just a true story, James. We literally had it's probably a 15-minute conversation with 7 customers about what's the best pizza ever. And I know it's fun, and I'm sure all sorts of people do that. It was the way it was done. I mean, technicians were just walking in, and we were talking to them, and it was just an amazing time in here. And it was minor. It was nothing big, but it was all culture. And every technician that we have and every service advisor that we have would walk in this room, and if a customer was sitting over there and we were talking about pizza, every single technician we have would engage in that conversation happily. Because we just don't allow them to be grumpy jerks. Right? So anyhow, I don't want to belabor the point, but if you want to take control of your shop, start with culture. Love to help you guys with that. I have some other videos that I'm going to be putting out as well. And basically, it's going to be a series, and we're really going to be talking about taking control of your shop. Watch the other videos, reach out to me. Let's see if we can work together, and I'd love to help you guys out.